In this video, we will be looking at how to find the remainder when an expression is divided by another expression. Okay, so we will be using this example to explain how this is done, and we'll be doing that also with two different methods. So you can use any method you want, but essentially one of them is quite straightforward, which doesn't really require much work, whereas the other one requires quite a longer method. But eventually, if you use any of the methods and you follow the steps correctly, you should get the same answers. Okay, so we'll be going through this question using these two methods: the remainder theorem method and then the long division method. Okay. So we start off by using the remainder theorem method. So let's the expression we are using equals f of x. Okay, so we are representing the expression we have with f of x. So we have f of x equals 4x cubed minus 5x plus 3. Okay, so this is how the remainder theorem method works. Okay, so you find the root of the divisor, and you do so by equating the divisor to 0. So the divisor we have is 2x minus 1, and that is equal to 0. The divisor is basically what is dividing the actual expression. Okay, so for example, if you have let's say 4 divided by 2, the divisor is the 2, and therefore is called the dividend. Okay, so the divisor here is 2x minus 1. We find the root of it by equating it to 0, and that's going to give us half as our final answer, right, for that particular equation. Okay, now after finding the root of the divisor, the remainder for that division you are doing, right, is given by evaluating f of x at x equals half. Okay, so the half here is the value of x we had by equating the divisor to 0. So basically, the remainder theorem, this is how it works: that the expression you are dividing by that divisor, you just equate the expression for the divisor to 0, which is this, in this case 2x minus 1. You equate it to 0, find the value of x. Then that value of x, you just insert it into f of x, right? So basically, that's how it works. After you insert it into f of x, what you get is your remainder. It's very straightforward. Okay, so we replace x with half into f of x. So f of half will be, by replacing every x we see in f of x with half, we end up with this expression, or this, yes, we end up with this. Okay, so you can proceed to simplify further. If you are doing an objective exam, you can just type this into your calculator and it gives your final answer straight away, which is 1. But if it's a theory, you can probably maybe use 1 or 2 of these, and then eventually get your 1 as your final answer. So the remainder when 4x cubed minus 5x plus 3 is divided by 2x minus 1 is 1. So 1 is our final answer for this question. So this is how the remainder theorem works. Just to recap, the expression you are dividing is your dividend, and what is dividing the expression is your divisor. So for the remainder theorem, always equate the divisor to 0, solve for the value of the variable. In this case, the variable is x, so you solve for x by equating the divisor to 0. Then the value or the values of x you get, you just substitute each one of them. If you have more than one value, you substitute each one of them into the expression you have, and then what you get will be your remainder. Okay, in certain instances, if you equate the divisor to 0, you may end up with two zeros, with two values, right? So for example, if the expression of the divisor we're given was, let's say, a quadratic equation, right? For a quadratic equation, you may sometimes get two values when you equate the divisor to 0, and for each one of those two values, you substitute it into the original expression, and then you get your remainders. All right, so this is the remainder theorem. we move on to the long division method. So basically, this is how an expression with a divisor works. Okay, so if you are dividing an expression by a divisor, or if you have a dividend divided by a divisor, it is equal to quotient, which is the quotient is what you get after every division, right? So if you have 6 divided by 3 equals to, the quotient is 2, so 2 is the quotient, right? Plus remainder. The remainder is any 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 leftover you get after performing your division, right? So remainder then over divisor. So if you perform the division you're about to perform using the long division method, we will get the quotient, we will get a remainder, and then we will get a divisor. So this is how we write it, right? So this is like a different form of writing this division, right? Basically. Okay. So this is the expression we have, or the dividend, and this is our divisor. So if we have this expression all over 2x minus 1, we can write it as quotient, which is what we get by dividing this expression by 2x minus 1 plus the remainder then over the divisor. Okay, so let's perform the long division method. So this is our long division symbol or sign. This is our divisor. This is the expression we are dividing. Okay, so now this is how the long division method works. Whenever you are dividing an expression by another expression, always focus on the term you have at the beginning, right? So in this case, we have 4x cubed, and then over here too, we also have 2x. So focus on those two. Focus on 2x here, and then focus on 4x cubed, right? Basically, what we want to write here as our first term will be a term which, when we multiply by 2x, we will get 4x cubed. Okay, so we want a term which, when we multiply by 2x, we will get 4x cubed, right? And that term will be 2x squared, right? Or you can just pick 4x cubed here and then divide it by 2x. So 4x cubed divided by 2x is going to give us 2x squared. So we write that 2x squared here like this. Okay, after you get the expression here, then after you get the term here, you multiply the term here by this whole expression, which is the one outside. It's just like how you perform normal long division using numbers, right? Just that this one has a bit of difference. So yeah, so 2x squared multiplying 2x minus 1, that's going to give us 4x cubed minus 2x squared. So yeah, if you multiply 2x squared by 2x, you get 4x cubed. You multiply 2x squared by 1, you get 2x squared. So you subtract this from the entire expression over here, right? So that's going to give us this as our answer. I mean, these two are going to sort of cancel out. Then 0 minus -2 is +2, so we get this. Then we just add these ones, so just like how they are, right? So this is our new expression we are about to divide. So just like how we did the first one, you focus on 2x squared here, then you focus on 2x. So what can we multiply 2x with to get 2x squared, right? That's +x. Okay. Or what is 2x squared divided by 2x, which is +x. So we add a +x here, and then again we multiply this +x with this whole expression, right? That's going to give us 2x squared. So x times 2x is 2x squared. X times -1 is -x. Then we subtract this whole thing from the expression above here as well, and that is going to give us -4x, right? Then we just include our +3 over here, and then again we look for a term which, when we multiply by 2x, is going to give us -4x, right? So that will be -2, right? Then we multiply this -2 with this whole expression, so that's going to give us -4x plus 2. We do the subtraction, and eventually we end up with 1. Now this one we have over here can no more be divided, right, further, right? So this here is our remainder. Straightforward. If you get here, you've actually gotten your remainder. You can actually stop here and just state your final maybe draw your conclusion that this is your remainder. But from here, based on what we wrote here at the very beginning, we can rewrite 4x cubed minus 5x plus 3 all over 2x minus 1 as 2x squared plus x minus 2. The 2x squared plus x minus 2, which is this expression, is what we have over here, which is our quotient, right? Then plus, this is the plus sign, right? The remainder, which is what we had over here, which is 1 over the divisor we have from the question, which is 2x minus 1. So this is our remainder. Yeah, we just make a statement indicating that 1 is your remainder, and yeah, that's how the long division method also works. So whether you use the long division method or the remainder theorem method, if you follow the steps correctly, you're supposed to get the same answer. Okay, I hope you found this video helpful, and thank you for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Goodbye.